Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Be Yourself. This is Dr. Rajni, and in the series of Enzymology, today I will be discussing about the King's and Altman procedure. Actually, this is a one step ahead of the Michaelis-Menten equation. In Michaelis-Menten equation, if you will remember, there was only one intermediate. But in this one, in King's-Altman process, will explain what will happen when more than one intermediate step will be there during the enzyme substrate reaction. So this was well proposed by Edward King and Carl Altman in 1956. That's why it is also known as King-Altman procedure. So let's see what exactly it is. So this was the equation which was put forward, or using this equation the enzyme kinetics was proposed by Michaelis-Menten and also by the Briggs-Haldane equation. But there may be possible that one more step will be there or one more intermediate will be there. So what they did, King and Altman did, they have just altered the way of writing this reaction. Instead of presenting this in the linear way, they have made it a cyclic way. So what they did, instead of writing as with the enzyme, they have taken the as during the formation of intermediate ES on the above the arrow, and ES was breaking down into enzyme and product. And what they did, the Kings and Altman did, they have just represented the same thing in a cyclic way, where this enzyme, which is the same enzyme which will be obtained at the end of the reaction, will be here. Will they have represented just in a cyclic way that this enzyme which was used in the process of this reaction will be again used as it is or for the further substrate binding, and in this process product will be released. So this was very simple way of presentations. But what will happen when more than one intermediate will be there? For example, if we'll take the reaction of chymotrypsin, then what happens, the substrate as will combine with the enzyme to form one intermediate, then second intermediate, then finally enzyme, and final product P2 will be released. So before discussing that, I will focus on the similar the previous one, this linear equation, and which was got converted into this linear form, and only one intermediate, so that it will be clear that this process also have the same chemical kinetics formula, but the way of presentation is just different. So let's move forward with this. So here what they did, instead of taking all these factors, they have taken three major factors. One is what are the enzyme species being used during the reaction, and what are the pathway they are following to form this enzyme species, and finally they will sum up the kappa product. What are the kappa product? Kappa product are the reaction constant, which is the K1, into the substrate if it will be used here. For example, in the first reaction, well, formation of ES intermediate with K1 factor, the here kappa will be K1 multiplied by S naught. But in the reverse reaction, you will see that here the substrate is not used, so here we will take only the K minus 1 as the kappa product. Now let us see in how many ways we can say that enzyme species E will be formed, or what are the pathways where the enzyme species E will be formed. So first you will see in the reverse direction, as represented by this green arrow, that this intermediate ES will break down in the reversible manner with chemical constant, with reaction constant K minus 1 to form E. Another way is that by the as the end product, ES will break down into the enzyme species E and the product will be formed. Similarly, let us see what are the pathways involved in the formation of ES. So here only one pathway is there for the formation of ES, which is the E will directly converted into ES with the involvement of the reaction constant K1 and S naught or substrate will be used during this process. So what we will do in this table, we will just represent the same thing in this way, that one way of formation of enzyme species E is this reverse reaction from ES to E, and another is that ES will break down into E and product will be released. So this will be represented by K2. Similarly for the ES, this is very simple, that only one reaction is there, or only one pathway is there to represent this. Now taking to the sum of kappa product, what we have, how many product kappa product here we have? So here we have K minus 1 and K2. So what we will do, we will just sum up this K minus 1 plus K2. So this will be the sum of kappa product. Whereas in this ES, or the pathway for the formation of the ES, K1 into S naught is involved. So here the sum of the kappa product will be K1 into S naught. Further, what they did, they have taken that for the each enzyme species, that enzyme species will follow this relationship, that the enzyme species by total number of enzyme used will be equal to the sum of the kappa product of that particular species and the sum of all kappa products. Now, if you will remember our previous classes of Michaelis-Menten equations, we have focused on this intermediate product, which is ES, which was the determining step. So here also there will be no use if I will take the total enzyme A naught, because it will be cancelled out, it will become equal to 1. So what I will take this intermediate product ES, or the enzyme species ES. So what we will get here, the ES will be main the focus. So what if we will represent this with here the enzyme species. So what we have here, ES by total enzyme E naught will be equal to the sum of the kappa product of that species. So the sum of the kappa product of ES is what? K1 into S naught, whereas the sum of total kappa product is what? K1 minus 1 plus K2 plus this K1 into S naught will also be involved here. So we have put this together. Similarly for the E naught also same thing will be there. So here the enzyme species E divided by total enzyme species E naught will give you this relation. But here we will not follow up this one, because this will have not much significance if we particularly talk about the redetermining reaction of the enzyme kinetics. Now further, you might be remembering that in the previous class of Michaelis-Menten equation derivation, we have seen that the initial velocity V naught is equals to the K2 into ES. So we have here for the ES relationship. So what we will do here, we will replace this ES with this V naught kinetics, because what is our ultimate aim? We have to determine the velocity using King's-Altman procedure. So let's see what we will get from this procedure. So I am replacing this ES with this equation. So equation, let's take it as equation 1. So if I will express is in the term of ES, so what we will have, ES will be equals to V naught by K2. Now let's replace this equation 2 in this particular equation in this one. So what we will get here, so here V naught will be ES will be V naught by K2. So here K2 will goes down, total enzyme E naught will be equals to K1 into S naught by K minus 1 plus K2 plus K1 into S naught. Now what we will do, we will do the cross multiplication. I will take this whole terms toward this side. So what we will have, V naught velocity will be equals to K1 into K2. Let's take this all both constant together, K1 into K2 into E naught into S naught by K minus 1 plus K2 plus K1 into S naught. Now what I have K1 is common to both, and further if you will remember, K2 into E naught was what? Our Vmax in the previous equation, which I have already explained. So if you have not get this, so here it is popping out here. You can go and watch the Michaelis-Menten equation where I have explained how this Vmax is equals to K2 into E naught. So what will happen here? So let's simplify this. This will be K1 into S naught Vmax by K minus 1 plus K2 plus K1 into S naught. So K1 is common here. So let this common take this common out or cancel out this k1. So what we will be having here, so in this two case k1 is not there, so I will simply divide this with k1. So what will be our equation? This our equation will simplified as v naught is equals to v max into s naught by k minus 1 plus k2 by k1 plus plus s naught. Further, if you will remember this this equation, so this is equals to what? This is equals to km, or the Michaelis-Menten equation, or constant. So I'm going to replace this with km. So it is v max into s naught by km plus s naught. So what we have analyzed, even by using the King's-Altman equation, we have got the same formula of the Henry Michaelis-Menten equation, or Michaelis-Menten equation. It means that this also will have the same kinetics, but just the thing is that instead of having a one intermediate stage, there will be two intermediate stages in this. So again, take the example of chymotrypsin, where what I am going to do, I am going to take here, you can see a product P1 and P2 is released. So let's take this product P1 as A and this product P2 as X. So now what our equation will be, this substrate will be AX, along with the enzyme it will become EAX, and this intermediate will be what, this or we can say E plus AX is combining to form EAX as intermediate. In this equation A is released, so this will be EX, and finally X is released, so this will be having E. So this equation will goes like this, that this substrate is combining with the enzyme E to form an one intermediate is here EAX, another intermediate, second intermediate is EX, and finally the enzyme is released and the final product P2 is released. Just like the previous one where only one intermediate was there, King's and Altman has represented this equation in the cyclic form. As you can see here, enzyme is combining with AX naught to form EAX, where the first product P1 is released in the form of A and it is form EX, and finally the second product X will be released with the rate constant K3. Finally, we got our enzyme E at the end of the reaction. Now, again we will do the same thing. We will put here all the possible enzyme species. So, how many enzyme species we have? 1, 2, and 3. E, EAX, and EX. So, let's see how many different pathways are involved in the formation of enzyme E. So here are the two different pathways. One is through this way, that EAX is breaking down into EX and then finally E is released. So here it is K2 into K3. Further here, one way is the reversible reaction. EAX is going reversible reaction to form E, and finally the EX is going to form the E. Similarly, for EAX, what we have? For EAX, we have here K1 into AX naught, and another way of forming EAX is that EX is combining with the A to form the EAX. So it is going like this, K3 into K1 into AX naught. And finally, the EX formation of the EX species is forming by the pathway K1, or the forward reaction carried by the EX is breaking down into EX with the release of A here. So just like the previous one, we will sum up the kappa product. So here the kappa product will be what? K2 into K3 plus, instead of and it will be plus K1 K minus 1 into K3. Likewise, similarly for the EX, we will be having K1 into K3 into AX naught, and finally for the EX, we will be having K1 into K2 into AX naught. Now, as we have done previously, that for the particular enzyme species, we divide it with the total number of enzymes and the sum of the kappa product of for the particular species divided by the total total amount or total number of the total sum of the kappa product. Here another thing is that here we have the two product. One is in the form of A and another in the form of X. So what will be the velocity for these two? So here the velocity for the formation of A will be K2 into EAX, which is this one. This will be the substrate for the formation of A. Whereas for the formation of X, for the formation of this particular X, here EX is the substrate. So here the dx or the rate of formation of X will be K3 into EX. So let us simplify this in the term of V naught. So for the formation of A, EAX will be the substrate. So here V naught is what? K2 into EAX. Similarly for the formation of product X or P2 product, it will be K3. It will be not K2, it will be K3 into EX. Again we will replace the same. If I want to calculate for the EX velocity for the EX formation or the velocity for the X formation, I will use the EAX or this velocity. This is equation 1, this equation 2. I will use the second equation to replace this, and if I want to know the velocity for the formation of A, so instead of EX it will be EAX. So let's replace first with this one EX. So what we are having K, so here up to here it is known that it is EX. So what will be the value of EX with this equation? Equation number 2, EX will be equals to V naught by K3. Now I am going to replace this as we have done in the previous one. So here what the equation will be? Equation will be, let's better I will take this E naught also this side. So here I will be having only V naught, and here K3 will also go to this side. So it will be V naught is equals to K1, K2, K3 into AX naught by K2, K3 plus K1 minus 1 K3 plus K1 K3 AX naught plus K1 K2 AX naught. Now again I will take here K3 as a common from this side because K3 is common in this. So if you will remember your 10th level quadratic equation, so how we used to solve that, we simply take the K3 out from here and I will take K1 common from here. So our velocity will be what? K1 K2 into AX naught. So here I am having K3 as a common, so it will be K2 plus K minus 1, and in this way it will be K1 as a common, K3 AX naught like this plus K2 into AX naught. So this is the way we can simplify the equation, from where we can calculate if we will be having all the concentration here. So I just mean to say that how we can solve for the chemical kinetics when the enzymes is used and more than one intermediate will be engaged in the reaction. So these were all about the King's-Altman process. So our next class we will discussing about the competitive non-competitive inhibitors with respect to the Lineweaver-Burke plot, and what will happen when there will be fluctuation in the substrate or enzyme concentration. So don't forget to subscribe and share my channels. Hope you understood how we can determine the kinetics when more than one substrate can be used.